Oh, Gil wanted you to check in. Wait, Lexi, your dad was Turian? That explains so much.
What's that supposed to mean?
Here we go. You know, how uptight you are.
I am not uptight.
Not even 300 years old and fussing at us like a matriarch.
I'm a doctor. Fussing's part of the job.
We were right about the vault on Aya, huh? What a find.
And this Meridian might jumpstart all the others.
I knew hitching my wagon to yours would pay off.
So what's your take? Is this Meridian what we think it is?
Everything we've seen, each remnant system we've uncovered, is connected to everything else. The bots, the monoliths, the vaults. It stands to reason that activating Meridian will connect the entire network and rekindle terraforming across the cluster.
So you think we're doing the right thing?
Well, yeah.
Thanks for chatting. We'll talk again later.
You know it.
I thought I hated the Ket before. Then we learned about exaltation. I can't even begin to imagine how Jaal feels about this.
You were on the Nexus when the revolt happened?
When you promise people golden worlds and all they get are wastelands and a death cloud, they riot. Some wanted to go home, some demanded answers, and a couple just wanted to stir shit up.
And you?
Some days I wondered if the exiles had a point. Maybe we were conned into coming here. But why would the Initiative go to all this trouble just to screw us over? Thing about conning people, you always know something they don't, and that's why the con works. And if I'm going to pick a side, I'm picking the liars.
I was curious about you and Sid, being on your own from such a young age.
Yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Back on Palaven, I suppose. She was an awful person. All she cared about was climbing the ranks. She and my dad fought all the time. I think at the end they hated each other. When things were really tough, I thought about going back. But she wouldn't have accepted us. Whatever my dad did destroyed any chance of that.
Where was home? Palaven?
No, we'd already left Palaven by then. Whatever our dad was involved in meant we weren't welcome there. I hadn't even gone to boot camp yet. Sid was barely a year old. We eventually settled in a mining colony in the Minos wasteland. 2 years later, our dad was gone.
How did you keep you and your sister afloat?
I was barely more than a kid myself, so lots of unskilled work, construction jobs. No one else would do the dangerous stuff, so I would, being up high, crawling under things. I could shoot a gun, so eventually I moved into smuggling. Even more dangerous, but lucrative. We were never rich, but we got to comfortable.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
Now, exaltation. The Ket just keep asking for more trouble.
Really looking forward to kicking those guys in the teeth.
Get us there, and we'll save you a place in line.
Pathfinder?
Got any stories or advice to share?
Does a pyjak scratch its butt?
Tell me more about fighting Ket.
Destined are annoying. Quick. Got some crazy mist that hides them from view. Their friends, too. Take a Destined down, and that mist goes away. Makes them a prime target, if you ask me. Perfect for grenade practice.
What's it like to have Kesh as a granddaughter?
Kesh is my Rushan, child of my blood. Raised her myself. Damn proud of her too. She did good. Even with me for a granddad.
She's honest. Definitely blunt.
She had to take after me in some ways, I guess.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
Pathfinder making the rounds. Slumming it, huh? Want to see how the riffraff are making out?
Hey, it's a dirty job. Are you the riffraff spokesman?
King, actually. You might want to bow. Otherwise, no telling what might fall off the Nomad when you're out there.
I'll take my chances. Just want to see how things are going with the ship.
Got this baby humming. No restraints. She'll take you anywhere the Scourge will allow. It just feels good to be stretching our wings, you know? Locked in idle too long, you start to drift. People, same as ships. Stuck on the Nexus, gotta say, I was regretting joining the Initiative.
I doubt you were the only one.
Yes, but it's a new thing for me, regret. I tend to live the way I work. Kind of feel it, do it. Not a lot of close ties, no real sense of purpose. Figured maybe I'd find my true calling in Andromeda. Then I got here and, oops, I just made a decision there's no turning back from. I was going nuts on that station. You can't know how jazzed I was when you showed up.
We're exploring this cluster, eventually the galaxy. If your purpose is here, we'll find it.
Then the question will be, what will I do with it? In the meantime, you just keep pointing this ship wherever you want it to go, and I'll make sure she can get there. Deal?
Deal.
Caught you napping. Do all Angaras snore, or just you?
Do all humans whimper in their sleep? Or just you?
Just waiting on that armor requisition / project. No pressure.
We'll talk later.
I know it.
There's always more to say and to learn, isn't there?
I want to learn more about your species.
What would you like to know?
Is there a central Angaran religion?
There are many variations. An almanac could give you an accurate number. But if you are a believer, the essential tenet is, after we die, we are reincarnated. We evolve to make our families strong, born from what was before, blessed to be better than before.
Are you a believer?
No. Yes. Sometimes. I don't know if it's the same for humans. Sahuna, my true mother, is a firm believer.
How many colonies do you have? On what planets?
Since the Scourge, we've managed to survive on a small number of planets. What we know from before the Scourge is mostly oral history. We did have spaceflight, and the stories tell of 5 original colonies.
The Angara seem so open and free with their feelings.
Are we? We're certainly not ashamed of our feelings. We're taught that feelings and beliefs should live on the outside, where they can be dealt with, honestly and openly.
Don't people get hurt?
Of course. Then everyone deals with it. That's the point.
How long have you had electromagnetic capabilities? How did they evolve?
No idea. Biology doesn't interest me, but I'm sure you can easily read up on it.
That's disappointing. No biology at all?
How do your eyeballs work?
Okay, I get your point. Maybe I can find an Angara doctor to ask about your... whatever.
Although, I used to know some facts, like the origins of our vestigial organs.
Oh yeah, humans have a coccyx, a vestigial tail, and I have webbed toes, just a couple, but Sarah doesn't. And she had wisdom teeth, but I didn't. Now you.
No idea.
You studied with Moshe Sefa. Is she a teacher or a religious figure?
She's many things. She's a clear thinker with deep knowledge and insight. She teaches and inspires. She's beloved. I love her.
Really? So one of those professor-student things?
No, not that way. Moshe Sefa is 115 of your years old.
Well, enough about that. Can I ask you a few more questions?
Of course. If I can answer them, I will.
Did you always want to be a fighter? Did you study anything particular in school?
No. I don't like to talk about it. But I'm not a fighter. Not really. The Ket occupation creates chaos. So our education is chaotic. I'm not really anything. But that's an excuse. The truth is, I don't know what I want. Yet. For my life. At my age. I hope being here will inspire me.
Can you tell me about your family? Assuming you have one.
Sit down. This will take time. Is someone bringing us snacks and drinks?
Whoa, your family's that big?
I have one true mother, Sahuna, and more than 5 additional mothers, and many siblings, and cousins, all raised together. Our families constantly change and evolve. Relationships come and they go. My father is gone, taken, or killed by the Ket. We never found his body.
I'm sorry about that, Jaal. I understand. I just lost my dad.
Something in common between aliens, then. We are fatherless, yet we fight on. Anything else you want to ask?
Do Angara plan their futures? Do you dream about what you want to accomplish?
You put plan and dream in the same question.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You meant to do that. Angara thirst for now. We don't strive to make the future better. We strive because the present is lacking.
Well, enough about that. Can you tell me more about the Ket occupation?
It's a difficult subject. I'll answer what I can. I may get emotional.
What's living under the Ket been like for you?
Do you really want to hear about these things? They're painful.
I asked, didn't I?
It's like living on unstable ground. Every day brings more horrible news. I part company with someone not knowing if I'll ever see them again. When I was a boy, my father vanished from my life. One horrible day.
Was he in the Resistance?
No. He was a technician at a mine. He went to work and didn't come home. That happens for an Angara child somewhere, every single day.
When the Ket came, why didn't you fight?
They didn't give us a reason to. Until they did. Then it was too late. Perhaps you think we were weak. But the Ket are ruthless. They are masters at knowing exactly when and how to strike.
I get that. Believe me. Have the Ket always been here?
No. Some, like the Moshai, are old enough to remember the time before the Ket. But I don't. Nor do my mothers.
And the Archon came with them?
We think so. Resistance intel on that is unclear, and few have seen him in person.
And lived to tell?
And lived to tell.
Well, enough about that. Do you have a mate? A partner?
I don't. Not for a long time.
Not for a long time.
I fell in love with a girl once. Aliyah. We were young. I was young. It was my first vassal on Aya. We worked on the same farm. She was a little older. A researcher. I can still hear her laugh and see her eyes. She kissed me and I was hers. Thrilled and seduced.
But it didn't work out?
My older brother came to Aya. He was already famous in the Resistance.
Where's Aliyah now? Did she and your brother work out?
They came back to Haval, and she joined our family. She became one of the mothers.
You have to see her every day?
No. They were taken by the Ket. Their children survived.
Well, enough about that. I'll see you later, Jaal.
Stay strong and clear.
Ah, Ryder. Sorry for the mess.
Who's your friend?
An exalted Ket. I called Jaal to show him. Ah, there he is. Jaal, look at this. There's nothing Angara inside.
The physical can be deceiving.
I've run hundreds of tests. Only traces of the Angara genome remain. The exalted are Ket.
There must be a way to fix them.
We need to be prepared that there might not be.
Jaal, remember what we talked about?
That we should examine the problem objectively? Excuse me.
Grief is never easy. But Jaal needs to accept that exaltation is permanent.
Hope is good, but false hope is unhealthy.
I appreciate your support. Jaal is part of this crew. His welfare is my responsibility.
I know this job was a surprise, but you've really stepped up. And look, you got your Ket sample.
Their bodies are unlike anything I've seen. Centuries of gene stealing, crafted evolution. It's horrible, of course, but also fascinating.
Glad you're settling in.
Sink or swim, right? I should probably clean this up before it starts to smell.
So, Callow, who's that woman I keep seeing with on the Nexus? You'd always short.
Report from the Nexus. Population's growing as people wake up. Lots of hopefuls waiting for a home.
With all our outposts, they're spoiled for choice.
They might arrive in time to help with the first harvest. Can't tell if they have enough water or too much. I grew up on a little cargo freighter. Only saw gardens in vids, but I always loved them. I
daydreamed about planting a big rose garden when we got here and still imagine it sometimes. Roses in Helios.
So there's a heart soft as rose petals under that uniform.
I got plenty under here, pal. Does the big bad Pathfinder have a soft spot too?
I might. For certain someones.
Good to know. We've all got our something. I didn't for a while. After I left the Asari Commandos, well, I didn't leave. My mentor, Nasira, said I should go.
Why?
The initiative would suit you better, was all she said. Being a huntress suited me fine, but she insisted.
It sounds like she cared more about what you needed than about what you wanted.
I didn't need to be rejected. Still, that's familiar. When your biotics are honed into Huntress-grade weapons, people can be weird about it. The initiative seemed better. Just didn't see how I'd fit into their brave new galaxy. I never fit anywhere before. Then I met some jerk named Ryder. Talked about traveling to Andromeda like he was teaching you how to see it.
He gave you a dream to work toward. He was good at that.
Who doesn't want to belong? Especially somewhere like the Initiative. So I gave the Initiative my all. Kept thinking of the niche I wanted. My rose garden. I thought I knew what I was going to be.
This is about not taking over as Pathfinder?
Didn't think it would still sting. Nasira, your father, even my parents. They leave, I'm left without answers. Nowhere to stand.
It sucks, but it happened. We need your mind on the mission.
Always is. But I'm human too. Need time to find a way through. And if we find Meridian, maybe someday I'll have roses too.
Hello, Gil. When are you cleaning up that repair on the sensor console?
I'm not. It's a redesign.
A redesign? Without a trained crew?
I'm trained and it's working great. Don't be so uptight.
Everything okay?
Oh, fine. Fine. Don't worry about it.
The swelling has gone down significantly, and I seem to be able to talk normally again.
Good. Keep me updated. And remember, cool food and liquid only. Nothing spicy.
Thank you, Lexi.
Is there something wrong? Did you hurt yourself?
Oh, it's nothing. I'm just getting over some inflammation of the soft tissues of the mouth. It was dramatic, but ultimately non-threatening.
What?
Have you ever heard of the lick test? Back before scanners were portable, Earth scientists would employ this test in the field. They used it to tell rocks from fossils and get a basic idea of their mineral composition.
You licked a rock, didn't you?
I was distracted and forgot it was a Helios rock. I do it unconsciously. When I was little, my father and I would go on expeditions. The lick test was a huge part of it. He made science fun for me. Your mother was something of a scientist, wasn't she?
She specialized in biotics research. Got her start in medicine.
I read all about her research, and your father's. AI and implants. They achieved so much in so little time. Sam is an astounding achievement. I left my parents back home. They told me they were proud of me, and then lived out their lives while I slept.
We all knew that would happen. That we'd wake up and everything we knew would be gone.
I knew it. Living through it is different. Thank you for the chat, Ryder. I appreciate it.
Anytime.